All right, if you're a law student, you know the absolute grind of legal research. It feels like it never ends, right? Well, what if I told you we could change all that? Turn it from a total chore into your secret weapon. That's exactly what we're about to do. I'm going to show you 5 legit power user tricks for SCC Online that will seriously cut your research time in half. No joke. I mean, you know the feeling, right? You type in what you think is the perfect search term, you hit enter, and bam, 5,000 results, and almost none of them have anything to do with your case. It's not just a time suck. It's honestly why legal research can feel so soul-crushing. Okay, so here's the fundamental mistake most of us make. We treat SCC Online like it's Google. We type in a whole sentence and just hope for the best. But here's the thing. Legal databases aren't search engines. They're databases. They speak a different language, a language of precision, and that's the key. It's not about finding a case, it's about finding the right case and doing it efficiently. So how do we fix this whole mess? Let's dive in. Our first couple of tricks are all about one thing: finding what's relevant and finding it fast. These are your tools for slicing through all that junk and figuring out, immediately, if a case is actually useful. All right, trick number 1. This tackles the single biggest time waster of them all. You find a case that looks promising, you click on it, and it's a 200-page monster, and you start reading from page 1. Don't do it. There's a much, much smarter way. It's called the Digest Notes shortcut, and I promise you, this is a total game changer. So why is this so powerful? Well, think of Digest Notes as the cheat sheet. They're summaries written by actual legal experts who've already done the hard work for you. They've read the entire judgment and broken it down into its core legal points, its propositions. So instead of you spending 30 minutes, maybe even an hour, searching for that one golden paragraph, you can just scan these notes and know in 30 seconds if this case is the one you need. Okay, moving on to our next trick. This is about learning to speak the database's native language. I'm talking about Boolean operators. You see, the computer doesn't understand legal arguments. It understands logic. And using these operators is how you stop guessing and start giving the system exact, precise instructions. Now, there are a few of them, but for now, let's focus on the 2 most important ones: near and not. Near is amazing. It tells the system to find 2 words, but only if they're close to each other, like within about 10 words. This makes sure they're actually related in context. And not? Well, that's your bouncer. It kicks out any results that contain a word you don't want to see. So let's look at a real-world example. Imagine you search for this. You're telling SCC Online, hey, find me cases where the word medical appears near the word negligence, but I do not want to see anything that mentions culpable homicide. See how powerful that is? You've just filtered out tons of irrelevant cases. And here's a little pro tip for you. If you're searching for a specific phrase, always wrap it in double quotes. That tells the system to look for those exact words in that exact order. Okay, so you've used Digest Notes and Boolean operators, and now you have a handful of really relevant cases. Awesome. But that's only half the battle. Now comes the really critical part, making sure those cases actually have authority. Because remember, it's not just about finding a case, it's about finding a case that a judge will listen to. Which brings us to trick number 3, and this is all about mastering court hierarchy, using filters. Now, you know this, but it's worth repeating. In the Indian legal system, hierarchy is everything. There's one golden rule you can never, ever break. You don't cite a high court judgment when there's a Supreme Court judgment on the same point of law. The SC's ruling is the final word, period. And the great thing is, you can build this rule right into your workflow on SCC Online. It's a simple 3-step process. Step 1, run your search, then immediately filter for the Supreme Court. If you find what you need there, fantastic, you're done. Step 2, if not, only then do you broaden your search and filter for your specific high court. And step 3, and this is crucial, always look at those little case reference icons next to the case name. They'll tell you if your judgment has been overruled, which you absolutely need to know. All right, let's play out a common scenario. You've done a pretty good search, you've narrowed it down, but you still have, say, 100 cases. It's still too much to read through. So how do you find that one perfect case that matches your exact facts? Well, that's where trick number 4 comes in, the drill down using search within results. I want you to think about this like a funnel. You start wide at the top, and you get narrower as you go down. So for example, your first search might be broad, something like Section 302. That gives you your initial pool of cases. Then you use the Search Within Results feature to run a second search only inside that pool. This time, you search for a specific fact, like knife or financial motive. You see what you're doing? You're drilling down, layer by layer, getting more and more specific until you find the case that is a perfect mirror for your fact scenario. And that leads us to our final and maybe most important section. This is about a skill that nobody really teaches you in law school, but it's absolutely critical. It's about knowing when to stop.
I mean, this is the question, isn't it? The one that keeps us up at 2 a.m. When do you actually stop researching? How do you escape that endless rabbit hole where you're convinced that the perfect case is just one more click away?
Well, I have an answer for you, and it's actually pretty elegant. It's trick number 5, the circular logic completion rule. Now, this isn't a feature in the software. It's a mental trigger, a signal that you train yourself to look for. Here's how it works. You'll know you've reached the end of your research when you start seeing the same 3 or 4 key cases being cited over and over again in every new judgment you pull up. That's it. That's the signal. That's the circular logic. It means you found the big ones, the foundational precedents for your issue. Remember, your goal is not to find every single case ever decided on the topic. It's to find the latest and most authoritative ones. And when the citations start repeating, you found them. You can stop. So, if you remember just one thing from this whole thing, make it this quote: "Great legal research is about being a sniper, not a machine gunner. It's all about precision over brute force. It's about taking that one perfect shot, not just spraying 1,000 bullets and hoping one hits." So there you have it, 5 tricks to make your research way more sniper-like. And that actually brings me to a final question for you guys. When it comes to the big databases, which one do you personally find trickier to use? SCC Online or Manupatra? I'd be really curious to know what you think.